Welcome top news today.
Monday, the 11th of December 2017 at 18:09 Politics NNA Hezbollah Secretary General, Syed Hassan Nasrallah, delivered a speech during a crowded rally in Beirut Southern Suburbs on Monday, in solidarity with alQuds Jerusalem, and against U.S. President Donald Trump's decision to recognize alQuds as the Zionist entity's capital. The best response to Trump's aggressive decision is to declare a third Palestinian uprising. The Arab and Muslim world must support them. I do not only speak on behalf of Hezbollah, but on behalf of all the axes of the resistance, Nasrallah told scores of protesters that had taken part in the rally. Nasrallah saluted all the participating political parties, especially Palestinian refugees who still hold on to their right to return to their homeland and reject resettlement plans or any other alternative to their homeland. Despite the grave plight of terrorism, and despite all the pain and wounds, the resistance axis countries have emerged all triumphant after years of war against attack furies. Today, the axes of the resistance will return to accord all their priority to the cause of alQuds in Palestine, Nasrallah said. He went on to praise the Palestinian people, particularly their historic stance and rapid movement since Trump's announcement. He said that the steadfast Palestinian people were defying this aggression with stones and knives to defend alQuds and the holy sites of Christians and Muslims alike. Nasrallah also voiced appreciation to all the positions rejecting this act against Jerusalem and the Palestinian cause. We appreciate the positions of all the countries, presidents, and governments that rejected Trump's decision and condoned it, he said. Trump believed that when he declared his recognition of Jerusalem as the capital of Israel, the entire world would follow suit. But he was left alone with only Israel by his side, Nasrallah said, pushing Arab and Islamic countries to fortify their stances in rejection of this belligerent recognition. The Hezbollah chief also lauded what he described as the historical positions of all Islamic religious authorities, Sunnis and Shiites alike, as well as those of Christian religious authorities, especially in the Arab region. He commended their condemnation of this aggression and their mutual commitment to the Palestinian cause. Every demonstration, sit-in, or rally that has taken place anywhere in the world makes us stronger. The Palestinian people need this public and popular presence and support. Today's demonstrations constitute the incubating environment in the face of this aggression, Nasrallah added. Touching on the Bahraini scene, Nasrallah lashed out at the Bahraini This Is Bahrain civil society group's visit to Israel, saying that the group carried a message of normalization with Israel, which the people of Bahrain utterly refused. This does not express the will of the people of Bahrain, those people who went out on demonstrations to express their solidarity with alQuds but were shot and suppressed in return. This is a scandal against a power that oppresses its people and prevents them from supporting Palestine, but sends a delegation to normalize ties with the enemy, Nasrallah said. The interfaith This Is Bahrain civil society group visited Israel amid ongoing controversy over the U.S. decision to move its embassy to Jerusalem and recognize the city as Israel's capital. The group defended its visit to Israel on Monday, a day after its trip was reported, as a gesture of tolerance. In Lebanon, we take pride in our national consensus on alQuds and the Palestinian cause against Trump's decision, which has been condemned and denounced by all the Lebanese, Nasrallah said, citing the positions and declarations of the Lebanese president, House Speaker, Prime Minister, and various political forces and popular components. He also heaped praise on the distinguished speech of Lebanon's foreign minister at the meeting of the Arab League in Cairo. However, Nasrallah said that if all sides refuse to succumb to the dictates of the United States and some Arab countries, then Trump's declaration would remain futile. If all insist on Jerusalem as the eternal capital of Palestine, neither Trump nor the entire world would be able to take away alQuds from its people. The U.S. is not a sponsor of peace in Palestine and the region. It is the maker of Israel and the sponsor of terrorism, occupation, Judaization, displacement, burning, destruction, and sedition, he added. Nasrallah went on to call for concerted efforts to isolate the Zionist entity. It is not important to only raise slogans. One of the most important responses to Trump's decision is to pressure governments to sever relations with Israel and to close its embassies in their countries, he said, calling for boycotting Israel and preventing of any act of normalization with it. Lebanon is the country of the resistance. It is the country of sacrifices, martyrs, and the country of victories. We have supported Palestine and we will keep supporting it until Muslims are able to pray in Al-Aqsa Mosque and Christians are able to pray in the Church of Resurrection, Nasrallah said. With all confidence and certainty, I assure you that Trump's decision will be the beginning of the end of Israel, he added. Our Follow the latest national news agency NNA News on Radio Lebanon 98.5, 98.1, and 96.2 FM.